Getting ready to do that valve body replacement. Thought I'd take a few seconds to video here while I'm letting the pan drain. Well, I'm doing a valve body swap in case you ever wondered whether you could swap the valve body without taking out the trans. Well, the answer is yes. It's pretty simple. And so I'm gonna show you a few steps that it takes to do it. At this point, I've already taken off the cross member and I'm letting the pan drain, and I've taken out the connector, but I'll show you where those things are. And we'll go from there. I've removed the cross member. So you see I removed the cross member right there. It's like 6 bolts total. You have to remove the cross member in order to get to the side of the pan. The cross member is slightly over. So on this side is where the connector is. You can see right here the connector. Like, it actually sits like this, and you slide it back like this, and it pops out. So it's not popping all the way out. You still have to pull it out from here, right? So see the connector I have kind of stashed up here. It has the seal still on it. It's keyed, so when you pop it back in, generally it'll slide. I already tried it. It'll slide itself back in. So it should be pretty easy to reinstall. But that's the connector. So the steps that I've taken so far are I've drained a couple of bolts here so that the pan would drain a bit. Haven't drained all of them, just enough to let the pan start to drain, because it's a good bit of oil that comes out. And I removed the cross member. There's 2 bolts over here. See? 1 and 2. 2 on the opposite side, 2 in the middle. So no big deal there either. Now, I did put this jack here just in case it drooped, but it's not drooping. It hasn't really moved from right there. So, but the actual bolts for the transmission to the motor are holding it pretty well. So not having a real big issue with that. But I did, just as a precaution, put a jack here just in case it did droop. So drive shaft, you can see, is still connected to the trans. So moving on to the next step, removing the rest of the pan. I got a few bolts left, you can see. But talk to you in a second. Okay, we're back. Remaining bolts removed. And now we're about to remove the oil filter. Shouldn't be a big deal. Just pull and pop. A little bit more oil. Drain. Drop the filter in there. We're gonna let it drain a little bit more. Then we pull the valve body. Back in a second. So, looks like there's a capture bolt inside this connector that I have to remove in order to remove this sleeve. So that's what's up next. Then we'll be able to remove the bolts that are here. There are 4 bolts across here and 6 bolts across the back. 10 bolts total. And I'll be able to remove the valve body. Valve body's out. New valve body, ready to be populated. Next thing's up, take off all the solenoids and the connector plate. And after that, clean it up. And then I'll look and see what I'm gonna do about the connector plate. I don't know yet whether I'm gonna replace it or whether I'm gonna go with this one. I'm still thinking about that one, but I'll let you know what I do. But after that, install on here and be ready to go back in. Connector plate is removed and solenoids are removed. Connectors removed. I'm replacing this with this, so not reusing that. I plan on reusing the solenoids. Solenoids are probably good. No issues there. See, they were already blue top, so we're good there. Connector plate is removed though. Had a slight tab over here. See this tab right here? Runs into that hole. And then on this side, had to rotate this counterclockwise in order for the clip to release. But plate's off. No biggie. Very easy. So see, this is the valve body. Same as you got over there, pretty much. So I'll be cleaning this up a little bit, putting it in the box, sending it back to Troy so I can get my $200 back. Thank you, Troy. And putting this in. So I am going to replace this connector plate. I just don't, given the faults I was getting, which was I got incorrect gear ratio in every gear, so first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So when you look at that, the common denominators are this plate and the rear gear. And I already checked the rear gear and I have no sounds coming from it. Doesn't sound like there's any grinding, so I think the rear gear is good. So this is the only thing. So I'm going to replace this. Also, it did say clogging for each one of them, but given that, you know, it's probably different valves in here for each gear or whatnot, I'm not going to trust that either. So I'm going to replace this connector plate. Next stop, connector plate replacement, solenoid installation, connector installation, reinstalling the vehicle. In order for me to know for sure how much oil I had to put back in, I captured the oil in here, but then put it in this jug. So what it looks like is that approximately 5 quarts, a little bit more than 5 quarts, is what drained from the trans. So that's how much I'll have to put back in, a little bit more than 5 quarts. So we got the new connector plate, just came in. Old connector plate, new connector plate. That one's pretty burned up. So hopefully this solves my problems. We move forward. Time to put in the solenoids. And then I'm gonna clean up the pan. Install this back onto the valve body. Be ready to put it back in. And it's back together and ready for the final assembly. So these bad boys, not too hard, at all to pull, not too hard to replace. I did reuse the same O-rings that were already on them, so hopefully that works out. Installing this wasn't hard, just snaps right in place on this side, and it's got snaps on this side, on the temp sensor side. Had to reuse this part right here from the other valve body. Torque these to 71 inch-pounds using the torque wrench right there, and voila, brand new valve body, brand new connector plate, fully assembled with solenoids, ready to go back in. Next stop, putting it back in the trans. Okay, so everything's buttoned back up. All of pan, cross member, zip tied everything back up the way it was, and the connector all back in place. Everything is as it should be. Already filled it up with transmission fluid, no leaks. Not right now, at least. We'll have to see how that continues to work out. But seal's on correctly, so we'll see. I'm gonna do an oil change and then go ahead and take it out for a drive. First drive after the valve body change. We'll see how it does. See if my problems are going away. They pulled out of the garage without the shifting like it did, so we'll see how this works out. So back from the drive. Car drove great. No problems at all, no codes, no leaks. So next stop for us is the track, obviously. Don't know when I'll make it there, but I know I'll be there this fall. I want to, before I do the track, I want to make some mods here. Want to possibly upgrade my throttle body. Right now, running this 90, really restricting, so hopefully I'll mod that before I go to the track, and we'll see if we can, combination of this new valve body, which everybody says is supposed to improve, you know, my launches as well as my 60. If that's true, we'll see some improvement there, and the throttle body will provide us some improvement on top end, and we'll see where we go. See if we can do better than the personal best 1030 we've already run. So stay tuned. Next stop, the track.